So welcome to all of you. And today here we are gathered to talk about inner strength, how to manifest inner strength. I know this is a bit different. We're not here able to sit and have this conversation face to face. Maybe if I can see everybody, then it won't feel like, at least I won't feel like as if I'm talking to myself. So maybe perhaps if I can see everybody and just say a quick hello before we begin.
Jagdish Tinani.
Nice to meet you. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you, Dimple.
That's good. So what are your hopes for today's workshop on inner strength? How about we share one thing? How about you give me your idea of what inner strength means to you? So 3 things that you feel inner strength means to you.
Inner strength is something that gives me, strength to face different situations in a more stable and calm manner. So, and handling more pressure, with work pressures increasing with the responsibility. I'm trying to sort of develop the inner strength, or sort of, I have seen that it wavers for me. Sometimes I'm pretty strong in some situations, and sometimes I like I lose it, and want to bring that continuous, have a uniform performance, or sort of, sada ek ras behne ki baat, jaise we are trying to remain stable always, and that's the goal that I want to achieve, that being stable no matter what.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you're right. I think you spoke for all of us that are joined here today, that in today's world there's lots of going on. It's not only in our personal lives, it's not only in our professional lives, just overall in our society, in our communities, whatever that's happening, even with COVID, it has brought so much uncertainty, and it has brought so much fear, that how do we cultivate those innate qualities within us, and we maintain that inner strength, and what it actually even feels to have that strength. And because for every one of us it means different, because in every different field, whether it's personal, whether it's professional, whether it's in our social, or even our spiritual lives, in our spiritual practices, inner traits and inner strength equals something different. And it's like having those different tools in our backpack that we can use, different tools that we get to use in different situations, because you can't use the same tool in for every situation, right? Do you all agree with me?
Yes. On a lighter note, just wanted to share, the Dimple, my daughter's name is also Dimple.
Oh, nice. There you go. So that's it's a beautiful name.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing that. So anybody else would like to share and say hello to everybody before we begin? So how about we take a few moments of silence, and we bring our energies and just be here in the moment, in the present, and really see for ourselves that what is it that one thing that you will take today, or one of the strengths or the traits that you already have, that you're using already, and you would continue to do so, and would like to cultivate more of what you would like to practice. Because like I said, for every one of us, it's a different quality, it's a different trait that will give you your inner strength. For me personally, I'd like to share, for me, inner strength for me is the inner peace. Inner peace, because when I am peaceful, or I'm at peace within myself, irrespective of whatever that's going on, it doesn't mean that everything is fine in my life. It doesn't mean that everything is perfect. It doesn't mean that everything is going my way. Irrespective, even if things aren't, for me, feeling that inner peace, having to be able to respond to whatever that is coming in front of me is for that's the form of inner strength for me, the feeling, that sense of calmness. So I am able to justify what is in the way, so I can go through it productively. I can go through it with a positive mindset and clear whatever that is in my way that is asking for my attention, versus to get diverted, right? I mean, we often find that, like, how many of you do you experience stress, anxiety, or are you experiencing sense of disappointment that can cause a sense of depression even? I mean, depression rate is rising. The numbers are rising really, really high. So this is a self-reflective question, by the way, that I would like, or I invite you to ask yourself, that what is it in your state of being right now that you're experiencing? Are you feeling a sense of inadequacy in any area? Are you feeling a sense of guilt, or are you feeling hurt, irritability? Are you feeling frustrated, or are you able to remain calm? Are you able to remain responsive and positive and optimistic? So this is a self-reflective question that I'd like you to invite, and close your eyes and just take a deep breath in and take a deep breath out, so we can be here in this moment and make the most of it. Because again, I'm not here to tell you something new that you don't already know. This is something that we as collectively, for us to revise, to to revisit and really reflect and realize what's going on within me. Because nothing else that is happening outside is not the cause of our distress, I would say, right? Because when we talk about the strength, it's all attached with my attention. Wherever my attention goes is what grows. So what is manifesting within me? So we can give it the attention that it needs, release what is not needed, and cultivate more of those innate qualities of that will give me a sense that we can endure. We can experience the well-beingness and the wisdom that we already, each and every single one of us, has within. You all agree? Yes? Okay. So now let's take a sit up straight wherever you're sitting. As you're sitting, sit as comfortably as you can and take a deep breath in, and let's take a deep breath out. One more time, taking a deep breath in and taking a deep breath out. And now one more time, as you take a deep breath in, gathering all your energies, bringing your attention to the center of your forehead. Now one last time, breathe in and breathe out. Sitting here calmly. So imagine yourself sitting inside your home, looking outside the window. So similarly, you're sitting inside and using your eyes as the windows to the world. And just observing whatever that's going on outside of your world. and see and feel and realize the feelings that are arising within you, inside you, in different parts of your body while you're sitting here and observing. And I want you to just sit in silence for a few minutes and allow yourself to sink deeper in those emotions and the feelings, or just simply being. And allowing the natural force of your own energy to interpret whatever it is however your heart's beating, your pulse, the muscles, wherever you're feeling the tension in and around your body and the muscles in and around your body. Just be with it. Feel it without resistance, without any judgment, without any engagement. Just be with it. Allow the rush of the emotions come and go, just like you can watch the traffic outside the window come and go, but it's not able to touch you. It's not able to affect you in any way unless you allow it to. It doesn't matter how fast the traffic is going outside. It doesn't matter how erupt it is. You know that you are protected and you are safe sitting inside your house and you're just observing outside the window. Similarly, you rest in peace. Be seated in the center of your forehead while you allow and you watch and you observe every single cell and organ of your body to react to the emotions, to the feelings, and the symptoms that is being caused in your body. You are the observer, just observing. You are the observer, just taking a quick calculative measure of what part of your body is asking for your help. It could be in the form of any tension in the muscles. It could be around the neck, your back, your shoulders, your facial muscles, knees. Just be with it. As an observer, you're just taking a tour and taking the calculated measures. And whenever you're ready, take another deep breath in and take a deep breath out and just quickly It's a quick thank. And you can come right here and be with us again. All right. So did you experience any kind of tension anywhere, any part of your body, or what was that moment of silence as you were observing like for you? You can leave a few message on the chat, or you can unmute yourself and share just a quick before we actually dive deeper into the session. Anybody? No? Okay. All right. Sorry, I'm just going to fix my screen there. All right. So let me ask, or you can ask yourself a question. I hope you have a pen and a paper with you, because as we go along, I will be asking you to ask yourself these questions, and throughout, perhaps if something else comes to you or a question comes in your mind, please leave it in the chat. And if it's not covered, then we can at the end do the question and answer. I felt thoughtless. Oh, we have one response here. Let's see. I felt thoughtless, very quiet and peaceful, and nothing else. Okay, so Gurjinder said that felt very quiet and thoughtless and nothing else, which is beautiful, because that's the gift that you want to give yourself when you sit in silence, that you're able to allow your thoughts or whatever that you're feeling to come and go and just watch. And why that is important, because this is the key to manifest your inner strength. And inner strength meaning equals to inner peace. Can I request everybody to mute your, to just put yourself on the mute, unless there's something that you'd like to share. You can leave the message in the chat. So we're not just, okay. Okay. All right. Please be very with me. I apologize if I'm getting used to this technology as well, as I'm sure you all are. So again, this here calls for me to practice one of my innate qualities of being patient and trying something new. So this is also a form of, I guess, creating inner strength. So anyhow, going back to how do you know that where your inner, we all know that we have the certain traits within us, the trait of being calm, of being positive, and being able to face situations in our life in response to situations in our life versus to react to them. So what happens where we're not able to exercise that? Why is it that we experience stress, anxiety, or guilt, or loneliness, disappointment, or any kind of hurt that is not that doesn't allow us to exercise and cultivate that strength within us? Usually, there's 5 main things that I can think of, or I will share with you, that keeps us away from us to feel that inner peace, which is the crux of the inner strength itself. Number 1, of course, is our perspective. Perspective is very, very important in our life, because Everything that happens to us, whether it's good or bad, who tells us it's good or it's bad? It's how we perceive what happens in our life, isn't it? Same situation, two different individuals. And yet, both of them will take different, completely different results and the different outcome from that. So, having different perspective, meaning having positive um, insight, having that positive shift to things creates that inner strength little by little. And second is our faith. When things go wrong, see, when things happen in our life, everything goes good, no one complains, right? Why? Because things are happening and they're happening according to how we want them. But when they don't go our way, that's when our faith is questioned. That's when the intentions and the existence is questioned. That's when we ask ourselves a question, well, why me? Why this, right? So having faith built in with the perspective that whatever that is happening, it's not happening to me, it is happening for me. So these little things that when we create our challenges and we turn those into our opportunities, it creates and it manifests and helps that it strengthens those innate qualities of patience. For example, how is our faith and our perspective even deepened? It's deepened when we look at certain things and say, okay, it's happened, but what am I going to do about it? Given the situation, how do I need to show up for it? So it brings us out of our comfort zone. It actually challenges certain situations and people. They challenge us for our involvement. That's how we grow, right? Isn't it? Do you notice that when you have to think out of the box, when you have to do something that you have never done before, is when you start learning new things, is when you start to look and you start to seek for different people and for the mentorship, and you start questioning that, how do I get from point A to point B, isn't it? That road isn't sometimes always easy, it's challenging, but the more and more you are shifting your perspective in the positive direction, having that faith, okay, whatever that is working or is happening for me, and how do I need to show up? Everything, it builds that muscle. It helps you to manifest those qualities of patience, of to know that if you can't, it's like saying that, if you can't fight them, then you join them. But how do you join them? You join them with the power of your patience, of having a different perspective and changing those negative emotions into positive moods, into positive emotions, right? Which helps us to endure whatever the challenges and the disappointments that life has to offer. We grow. It's like even at the lotus flower, it grows in the mud, and it strengthens the stem of it. It strengthens in the mud, under, not over and above, right? So any situation that, I guess what I'm trying to say is, which brings me to number 3, is self-awareness. How self-aware am I of what is going on inside of me? So we know one thing, that we cannot control anybody else. Can we? Can we have people do what they want us? Like, can we have them do what we want them to do? No, they're going to do things based on their perspective, what they feel is right for them. Hence, so do we. So then how do we, in our personal relationships, in our, even, like I said, It's the strength that we need to build in every areas, right? So knowing that what's happening within me helps us to respond to the situations versus reacting to them. For example, for a mom, when their child is creating, um, making noise or whatnot, when you're trying to create a simple meal, how do you cultivate that strength? You, again, it's a choice that you practice calmness or you practice being angry or frustrated. So in that moment, taking that pause, taking that break, and becoming self-aware, again, feeling within you that what is going on. If you're feeling frustrated or if you're getting angry, then it's maybe a time or a moment to take a break and do something else. But then again, when you come back to it, you come back all refreshed. So the more self-aware we are of what triggers us, of what values we have, of what are the things that are meaningful to us, then more and more we are able to advocate for ourselves in those situations, right? And even when, okay, so you probably would be wondering that, okay, we are self-aware, but then I noticed that if I am getting angry or frustrated in situations, how do we cultivate positive mood into this? How do we bring that to that irritability or frustration or any kind of negative emotions into positiveness? For and the most important one. Now you must be thinking, being grateful. Um, how can you be grateful in situations when you feel that someone has betrayed you or something really big has happened? How do you change that shift and bring gratefulness? And why is that even important? And what does even that has to do with inner strength, right? So here's the thing. This is the reason why. In our mind, we have certain patterns, certain conditioning that we are conditioned with since our childhood. So there are certain things that we come with um, that are innate, built-in qualities, like genetically based, our talents, our skills, our moods, and meaning whatever that we grow up with, it becomes our automatic pattern and behavior to do things the way we have been doing. So if if you're facing things in your life that are not working for you, by doing the same repeated action, things are not going to change for you, are they? Right? And most of the time, we actually fight for our limitations because that's the only thing that we are familiar with. Hence, because we're so familiar with one way of being, we actually argue for those limitations. What we're doing is we're actually strengthening those beliefs. So those beliefs will only allow us to see other shortcomings. So when we're seeing others' shortcomings and we are only looking at the things that are going wrong with us, we're actually going into the victim mentality. And being in that victim mentality, it doesn't help us to be grateful for all the other things that are going right in our life. Because that one thing that is not going well or is going wrong becomes the prominent, significant focus of attention for us. So in order to shift that mindset and bring that back to inner gratefulness, because when we are grateful and we shift that positive mindset, it chemically does something to our brain that now you're actually looking at the things that are happening right around us. And we all know that wherever the attention goes, it grows. And because we're the beings of where we are interacting more energetically, and wherever our frequencies is is aligned, is where we are attracting. So the mindset of being grateful is a higher frequency. And the more and more you raise that vibe, raise that frequency, you will also attract the same that is on a high vibe. I mean, of course, you may not receive it from the same individuals. You may not receive it in the same situation, but one way or the other, things will align for you and you will start experiencing something different than what you already have been doing. And the more and more that starts to happen, and the more and more that shift is being aligning from you can say lower vibration. And again, I'm not going to say positive or negative, because I believe everything happens for a reason. Even our negatives, even our challenges, even our opportunities, they're there to do something for you. They're there to help you to realize you something in your life, whether it's working for you, whether it's not working for you, or what needs to be changed. Anything that is happening again, not to you, but it is happening for you. Just even that perspective, it changes the game for you. Because now what happens is, now you're actually going with the flow. And the more and more you are going with the flow, things starts to, it's like, I think there's a knot that is really, really tightened. But the moment you stop to untangle it, you just let it be, you surrender to it. Now, slowly, with that feeling of gratefulness, which changes your positive mindset, now it's becoming the lubricant, which will automatically soften that rope. And the more and more the rope becomes soft, you can see the knots, and it becomes very easy to unknot it. So similarly, our energy works the same way. The inner peace, the inner strength is nothing else but shift of different energy. If you're feeling tightness in your body right now, if you're experiencing any kind of tension in and around your forehead, if you're experiencing any kind of aches and experiencing pain, that means your energy is on a different shift. And all we need to do is bring in that lubricant, bring in that softness of gratefulness. It could be from small thing to big thing. Like, for example, I remember when there was a situation in my life, and I was kind of feeling really disheartened about it, and I didn't know what else to do. So I just started practicing. I just started saying thank you. It didn't matter what I was doing, who I was talking to, even while I was cooking. It's going to sound it's going to sound funny to you all, but this is something that I experience even up until today. When I'm in that low vibrational feeling, anytime I start feeling some kind of irritability, I will just look at something and focus on something that is going well for me. And I genuinely say, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's practice that actually, shall we? How about wherever you're sitting right now, take a deep breath in. You can close your eyes and bring that situation or that individual or anything that is going on in your life right now that you feel is like that tight rope, and then that is not coming out and you would like to. I want you to bring it to the center of your attention and bring it to the forefront of your mind. Okay. And now, as you're taking a deep breath in and taking a deep breath out, just simply be with it. Don't question it. Don't judge it. And do not resist it. Simply let it be right in front of you for what it is and for as it is. Now I want you to look at it very closely It's like as if you have that 3D vision. You can see that situation or that individual or whatever your situation is tied into that knot. And that knot is revolving around you in a 3D picture-like vision. It's like as if you can see every single side of it, and you can see the different perspective and different shift from the right to the left, to the bottom, to the top. Every single speck, it's like revolving right around you in a very fine night detail. And as you observe it, I want you to say thank you. Just simply say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And the more and more you be with it and say thank you to it, feel a sense of ease. Now feel a sense of lightness. Feel this gentle energy flow. It's like when something gets unclogged. Just feel that release as you continue to say thank you to it. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for doing what you are doing. Even though I may not be happy with it, I may not like it, I may not agree with it, I may not have called upon it, but I thank you. I thank you for showing up and trying to do what you have been trying to do for me. But I no longer need you to do that anymore. Therefore, I thank you and I release you and I release myself. I am sorry and I forgive you and I forgive myself. And as I say thank you to you again, I choose to release you and I choose to release myself of this burden, because it's not my burden to carry anymore. I choose to surrender and I choose to let it go. Now feel that knot untangling itself, and whatever the debris of it, the falling out of it, and you put your hands and your palms under it, receiving the energy and the debris from it, and just letting it go in the thin air and releasing it. And one last time, I want you to say thank you to it. As you see the debris flying into the thin air and disappearing into the divine, white, powerful, being-like energy, like it has left you forever, and it is no longer yours to carry anymore. And the only thing that you are left with is the being of lightness, feeling peaceful, feeling calm, and feeling at ease. And in that moment, being grateful for whatever it had come for. Om Shanti. So in this simple practice, although it's very simple, but it's very, very powerful. So the more and more you practice in the times when you don't want to do it, that will help you manifest more of your inner strength. It's like going to the gym. When we first go to the gym, our muscles are not used to it, isn't it? But the more and more we're exercising, not only is your strength increasing, but you're able to do more. You're able to lift more weight than what you initially were the first day, right? That's exactly how inner strength is built. Everything is already within us: the love, the peace, the happiness, the joy, the gratefulness, the sense of gratitude, the qualities, which is vitality. It's all already within us. We don't need to do anything to gain it. We just need to release what is stopping it, or you can say stalling it, or is blocking it, to be precise. So gratefulness is very, very important, which brings me to number 5. So the more and more you exercise gratefulness, it will help you to be in touch with your own sense of worth. In today's days, I mean, I wouldn't say today's day, growing up, how many times have you heard that you've got to do things for others to make them happy, right? We actually do more things for others than we would do for ourselves. As for example, especially I know all the ladies, all the moms out there, including myself, I'm guilty of this as well, that if I have to make a meal for my family, I will go over and above. Even if I'm not feeling well, I will do it, right? But if I have to do it for myself, I'll be like, oh, you know what? I'll just be okay with this. Meaning I will not give myself that credit, or I wouldn't give myself that time to prepare a meal as I would for others. So that is a form of I would say um, it's not the sense that we don't care for ourselves. It's that then we don't put ourselves first, and because we don't do more of that, we're not we haven't exercised enough to create healthy boundaries for ourselves. So we allow others or situations to kind of um, be the forefront of our life, only to the rude awakening when we realize that, oh my God, I've spent all my life doing for others. Now what? Like, now, how do I do this? How do I take care of myself? Because neither am I taught, neither have I exercised, or neither have practiced, and we don't even know where to begin, right? So that's where our sense of worth um, doesn't allow us to exercise our inner strength. Because inner strength, what does it teaches us? That, you know what, we accept ourselves for who we are, and because we accept ourselves for who we are, we're able to love ourselves unconditionally, irrespective of how many mistakes we've made. But you know what, we're able to hold that space with love for ourselves. But we don't do that, and hence we are not able to do for others either. So if we're not able to hold ourselves with unconditional love, that tolerance power, the power to forgive, it becomes very challenging to do. You know, it becomes easy for us to hold on to a story um, of despair, of betrayal, just because it is not only, I would say, comfort zone, but it has become so familiar that that's the only thing that I identify myself with. Hence we're not able to let go of things, and forget about forgiving others, forgiving our own selves for the things that we have allowed to happen with us becomes very, very challenging. So if we're not able to do that, um, we're not going to be able to exercise the innate qualities of strength within us. Strength requires to do the things, to the hard things that we don't want to do, that we don't like doing. So how do we cultivate that? Thank God it's something that we can learn easily and we can exercise and we can do on day-to-day basis. It doesn't have to be something big. It can be very, very, very small things. For example, if you love to read, I encourage you to read a book that you like, but you find boring. You don't want to do it, but do it anyways. That will help you to build more tolerance. And when you are able to tolerate something that you don't like doing, but you do it anyways, you're automatically practicing the power of patience. The more patience you cultivate within yourself, the more and more you're able to accept the conditions that are not tolerable for you. So everything's like a loop of one thing to the other. But at the end of the day, it all comes with your inner worth and your inner self awareness and your mindset. Very, very important. The mindset. Usually we hear this term, think positive, and positive things will happen, right? Yes, you can think positive, but if you don't feel positive, that is not going to align with your inner peace. And that comes with clarity, right? So again, the more clarity you have, the more you're able to cultivate and move towards that well-being. Because your well-beingness, if it's attached with your clarity of the being, that means you have to reflect sometimes on where you are internally, meaning emotionally and mentally, in order for you to even explore your spirituality. Because your spirituality, you, the spirit, is attached with your mind, and your mind is your psyche, right? So, and the more and more you connect with that, your intellect also will get sharp as well. So whatever you churn with your intellect, it becomes the food for your mind. So whatever is the food for your mind is ultimately going to cultivate those inner strengths, those inner peace within you. So I hope it's all coming together for you, that the main crux of your inner strength, the inner peace is you. You are the manifester of whatever it is in your life, the qualities within you. Now, when I say this, I don't mean that you probably must be thinking, well, I didn't manifest the mishappenings in my life. I definitely didn't manifest the things that I have no control over, right? And you're right. You don't manifest a boss that is not appreciative of you. You don't definitely manifest negative actions or reactions of others. You don't. You're not responsible for them. Hence, this is where your tools comes in, that you put in your backpack, of your calmness, of your kindness, of your self-compassion, right? And all of these, like your self-regulation, how do you regulate your emotions when you are down? We expect people to come and give us the solace, isn't it? It's unexpected in our relationship that if you're feeling down, your loved ones will understand you and they should accept you, because that's the form of unconditional love. But unfortunately, if they're not able to provide that for you, are you able to provide that for you? And that's what builds that resilience. The resilience to carry on irrespective whatever that happens to you. There's a poem that I would like to share with you, if you are all okay with that. Yes? This is a poem that I received from one of my friends. And it's beautiful because it shows the contrast. Usually we look for the light in others and light within us, right? And we kind of oppress the darkness within us. When I say the darkness means our stressors, our depressions, our anxieties, our disappointments, our loneliness, and any form of shame and guilt, any kind of, I would say, lower vibrational emotions, we suppress that because we either I mean, of course, we have our own valid reasons because we've been avoiding it for such a long time that we don't know how to respond to that or whatever. You know, each and everyone has their own reasons. But what I invite you to do is that in order to cultivate that inner peace and manifest the strength that you want in order to endure the challenges of your life and be able to positively respond to things. So for your own well-beingness, accept your darkness just as much, because when that light seeps into the wound of that darkness and dispels the darkness is when the healing takes place. So meaning to say, if there's no darkness, light even self has no purpose for it. So do not disown it, do not dismiss it, do not invalidate it, but accept it, embrace it, and then work through it. That is the way to your inner strength and inner peace. It's making peace with all of you. You are beautiful and whole as you are, with your light and your darkness both put together. Even yin and yang, even within us, there's masculinity and femininity. So similarly, there's sun and the moon, and they both have their equal purpose. So hence this beautiful poem. I hope that you will enjoy this as well. Okay. So it goes saying that your worth isn't contingent upon the number of breaths your oppressor takes when it mentions you. You are more than an afterthought. You are the force of good that shakes darkness to its very core. And when under attack, darkness doesn't rise above. It only drags below. However, your light uplifted. However, your light uplifted you through the thick veil of consistent wickedness. But always remember, darkness is drawn towards the very light it abhors. It's jealous that the light can thrive on its own, where the darkness barely survives on what's it got. So meaning to say, whichever one we are feeding, it grows. And there's actually another one that I would like to share with you. It goes like that you are the sons and the daughter of many, many moons. Change has become one constant in your life. Like the moon you have accepted that life comes in phases. It's sometimes full and sometimes is just a skeleton of its own. A skeleton of its own self, but nothing is permanent. I have learned to feel my varying phases of life just by observing you. So thank you for teaching me that the moon is just as important as the glowing sun, and that I don't always have to shine for others. It's okay for me to emit a soft glow that shines just for me and no one else. So meaning, when you live for yourself through your darkness and your light, and you do the things every day, it could be a small thing that you wouldn't otherwise for yourself, is when you are exercising and you're strengthening the muscles of your calmness, muscles of your patience, muscles of your self-compassion, and the muscles of your self-kindness. And more you do that, you're relaxing and cultivating your emotional intelligence. And all of these put together builds that resilience within you that cultivates the inner peace, hence your inner strength. So does anybody has anything to share? We have about half an hour, and this is where I like to share with you and have this open conversation. If you have any questions or you'd like to share anything on this, please feel free to do so. Oh, there's two. Okay. Can you please repeat 5 points again quickly, sister? Thank you. Yes. So going to just to repeat the 5 points. The first one is our perspective. Second one is having the faith. I'll go slowly if you like. Okay. And then, of course, this number 3, self-awareness. And number 4 is the gratefulness, grateful heart. And the 5th one is the sense of self-worth. And I would add another one to this, number 6, the bonus one, positive mindset, not positive thinking, but positive mindset. And in that comes, how do we shift that negative mindset to the positive mindset, which will create the momentum and raising our frequency and raising our vibration, because whatever that we are emitting is what we are receiving. And when we're receiving, even in our lower vibrational, let's say negative emotions, it's all helping us. If we look at it as an opportunity, it's helping us to build those innate qualities that strengthens and makes us more resilient to the situations in our lives. I hope that helps, Sister Harpreet. Thank you. So does anybody has any other questions? Now we can chat openly and freely if there's anything that you'd like to share before we actually do our meditation. Okay. Seems like we are all good. All right. And another 4 pointers I would like to share with you is that the benefits. I mean, what are the benefits, and why would we want to cultivate inner strength, right? We want to create inner strength because you want to live a life of fulfillment. You want to live a life of satisfaction, a life where you have improved resilience, and so you can step towards your greatness. And not only that, like Sister Claudia actually shared, that it also affects our self-esteem as well. The more and more you are doing the things that you wouldn't otherwise, it gives you the confidence to do other things in your life that you wouldn't exercise either. So yes, thank you for bringing that out, Sister Claudia. Self-esteem definitely helps us to live a positive, healthy, rich, joyful life, and build and create positive relationship with the self as well. And we can only share and give in our relationships what we have inside of us. So if we're feeling sense of worthness, then we will also respect others and receive others in the same light and hold the same space for others as well. And not only that, creating and building inner strength also helps with the immune system, which is really, really good and more viable to have, especially in these times with COVID, right? Immune system is the generator. It's what helps us to hold and thrive. So immune system, it helps us heal psychological wounds as well. You know, like I said, the more and more you do new things in your life, it creates new neural patterns in our mind. So meaning the new neural patterns, meaning new ways of doing things, new way of being, new way of receiving, a new way of exercising, a new way of actually receiving what is being given to you. So practice that, because it will help heal so many wounds that you probably didn't realize that are their existence in the mind. Hence, also, of course, the autoimmune body diseases as well. It also helps to release extra tension on our muscles that we carry around with us. Okay. What else? Anything else anybody would like to share? Let's see. I liked your idea of reading a book. I don't like to cultivate my patience. Thanks. All right. Yes, another way you can cultivate inner strength is, again, when you go for a walk, taking a different route that you wouldn't otherwise, because you're activating your left side of the brain, the frontal cortex, which deals with emotions and helps you to regulate your negative emotions. Rather than being with them for a long period of time, it's better to be with them for maybe give yourself a timeline, 5 to 10 minutes. You know, if there's something that happened and you're feeling a certain distress or disappointment or guilt or shame, any kind of negative emotion, be with it, see it, ask it why you're feeling that you're feeling, and why is it important for you. So this will help you to go down to deep root cause of it, and then it'll become easy for you to release it by thanking it. So you can reframe that in your mind. So next time when the situation arises, it won't cause the same amount of hurt or pain and take you away from your inner peace. Okay. All right. Any other questions? So the more these inner states, inner traits, they will help you activate. It will help you endure and become the source of your well-beingness. So how about we do a meditation on our well-beingness? Yes? Are you all able to hear me? Just give me a thumbs up if you can. All right, I don't see all of you, but all right, I got the thumbs up. All right, so wherever you're sitting, let's be as comfortably as you can. You can close your eyes or you can leave your eyes open, whatever feels, wherever you are feeling in that moment, be with it and be in it. But the key is to align your energies from the bottom of your feet and bring it to the center of your forehead and feel this divine white, pure golden light hovering over you. It's like covering you and you are being in it. It's like going and walking into this portal of beautiful pool of energy. And as you take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out. Right in front of you opens up this portal. Portal of pure white, yellow, orange, red light. And as you are taking a deep breath, you step into this pool of energy like you would in a swimming pool, but here you're just walking into this lightness where you feel light yourself like a feather. And you're walking deeper and deeper and deeper, further into this pool of energy. You can actually see your feet treading and taking each step further, deeper, and deeper into this pool of energy. And you can actually see your feet lifting up. And you're just floating like a feather. And you allow yourself to just divinely be floating, allowing this energy to take you wherever, however, into your beingness. And further into your self-awareness and self-realization as you are gently being guided and floating into this flow of this beautiful pool of energy. It's strengthening every single part of you, every single cell of your body. You're soaking up all the innate qualities, the innate virtues, feeling calm, feeling relaxed, feeling this sense of calmness and compassion for the self that you've never felt before. You're feeling this gentle love pressing over you as you're gently floating, beautifully gliding through this pool of divine energy. It's like every single cell of your body is illuminated. It's beaming with this lightness, the energy of love, of compassion, of peace, of vitality, and so much clarity. It's so transparent that you feel, you see nothing but just the pool of energy. To the point where you don't even feel any separation between you and this field of energy. It's become you and you have become it, and you're flowing through the universal cosmic energy, being with it at one. It's like you are occupying this space, this whole space, into the unlimitedness, spreading love, peace, gentleness, compassion. So you can see this micro specks of minor molecules, and every single one of them is a reflection of you. pieces of you, and all of them where you see these different innate qualities of resilience, love, kindness, strength. It has become you, and you have become it. All your fears, all your doubts, it's like has dissolved in the thin air. And all you experience is a stability, calmness, and oneness.